Unfortunately, I did have a miscarriage. Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Jess, and as you can probably tell already from the title of this video, I did have a miscarriage. If you have been following my journey and my weekly pregnancy updates, you will know that I had a miscarriage scare a little while back, and it was absolutely devastating for me. And so this video is kind of just going to dive into how I really found out that I was having a miscarriage. Again, if you are new, I will have the playlist linked down in the description box below. So if you want to go down and catch up to kind of see where I was up until this point, then you can go ahead and do so. But in today's video, I just kind of wanted to share with you guys that unfortunately I did have a miscarriage. So I am going to do my best to stay strong throughout this video. It has actually taken me quite a while to sit down and film this for you guys, just because the process has been so long and I keep kind of going up and down with everything. And so, you know, at times where I feel like I can sit down and film this, I end up being a hot mess. So I am hoping that I can get through this video with you guys today, but it has been so hard, and I'm so thankful to have you guys with us on this journey because it is not easy. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you guys for all of your love and support up to this point, because you guys have shown us so much more love than we would have ever even asked for or wished for here from our YouTube family. And you guys are truly along with us on this journey, and you are part of our family now. So thank you guys so much for everything that you do. Your comments have meant the world to us and have filled us with so much joy and hope. And thank you so much for just reaching out and supporting us along this journey. So here in a moment, I'm going to get into kind of how I knew that I was having a miscarriage. But I do want to just stop right here and share that if you follow me on my other channel, A Classroom Diva, you will know that I decided that I am not going to be teaching this upcoming year. I decided just to take this next year off and work on my health and focus on, you know, just me and my family and just becoming the best version of me. So the reason that I bring that up is because not only is a miscarriage a part of this tough month/year. This year has been incredibly tough for Chaz and I. So first of all, Chaz was deployed for 7 months, and during that time, you know, I had our foster daughter here, and foster care was new to me, completely new to me. It happened so quickly, and so that was kind of, you know, an adrenaline rush, and we had a lot to do within that time frame. So we ended up having her for 10 months. During that time, I had surgery on my wrist, which I've never had a surgery like that before. I was in a car accident just a little while back, and that is in my week 8 update if you missed that. I have also been trying to wrap up the end of the school year and packing up my classroom and packing up the house to get ready to move because we are moving to Florida. So it has been such a crazy time of year for us, and it's been beautiful in certain aspects, but it's been super tough also. Our foster daughter has now gone to a new placement, and we were not able to adopt her because they need to look into Native American families first. And since we're moving, the time frame just doesn't work out where we can take her with us or anything like that. So that's been hard, which I am going to see her today one more time before I leave for Florida. So thank you, Lord, for letting us at least be able to keep in contact with her, because that has been, you know, at least a blessing where we can go and see her and still talk to her. And then on top of that, this is happening. And so I need a break from, you know, some things for a little while. So that is the reason that I'm taking off this next year of teaching. I just need to relax a little bit and kind of get back on track. And I know some things are out of my control, but I'm gonna try to do what I can just to make sure that I am healthy and, just not stressed, kind of just calming down a little bit and relaxing as far as life goes. So that is the plan. Now I'm gonna get into kind of how I knew that I was having a miscarriage. So if you watched my week 8 update, you will know that I had gone to see my doctor for my first ultrasound, yay! And I actually ended up having an emergency ultrasound a few days before that because I was in my car accident. And so after that, I did have my first formal ultrasound, and that second one was the transvaginal ultrasound. So that is where they were able to see a little bit more. And long story short, the ultrasound tech didn't really say a whole lot. She wouldn't give me any information. And so when my doctor came in, she basically said that this was not a normal pregnancy and that I could be having a miscarriage, but she wasn't sure yet. So she wanted to order some blood work, and she wanted to have me come back in a couple of weeks for another ultrasound to see if the baby had grown at all. So at this appointment, the baby was measuring at 6 weeks, 2 days, and I was supposed to be 8 weeks, 5 days. So as soon as I saw that, I knew that something was wrong because my ovulation I didn't think was that off. I don't know. I don't really know how to track it perfectly yet. I'm still kind of learning that. But at the same time, I didn't think it was possible for it to be off 2.5 weeks. I'm sure that happens sometimes where a woman will ovulate that much later, but I didn't think it was the case for me. So of course I was extremely emotional, just completely breaking down at the doctor's office, and I was a hot mess. So I went and I got my blood work done, and then I had to go back 2 days later to see if my HCG levels had risen at all, and they didn't. So they rose a very, very, very small amount, but they didn't double like they were supposed to. So I knew that the odds were not in my favor. So those first few nights were extremely, extremely hard for both Chaz and I. I mean, we would just lay in the bed and cry together. And I know that I'm not crying now, but I have had a couple of months now to kind of process from that first 8-week appointment until the time that I'm filming this video, because it's taken me a long time to kind of process everything and to accept that this has happened. So I'm sure, like, sometimes you'll hear my voice crack a little because I start to get emotional again, but I've had time to kind of grieve and process. And then when I start to think about things, it makes me upset again. But I'm trying to move forward, not necessarily move on from it, because I don't think I'll ever be able to move on from it. But I'm trying to move forward. So anyway, 2 weeks after that, I went back for another ultrasound, and sure enough, there was no growth. So the baby was actually measuring at 6 weeks, 1 day that time. So I don't know. I would have been, what would that be? I guess 10 weeks, 5 days, almost 11. And the baby was still measuring at 6. So I knew right away that this was not going to be a viable pregnancy. I never thought that would happen to me. I feel like I'm pretty healthy and active, and I mean, not as much as I could be, but I feel like I was doing all of the right things, and it still happened. So my doctor called me in again because I had to go somewhere else for my second ultrasound just to confirm. So the doctor then, for this would have been my third ultrasound, not including the emergency room one. This was my third ultrasound since I had found out that, the baby wasn't growing properly. So my doctor went ahead and did an ultrasound herself and confirmed that this, in fact, was not a viable pregnancy. She couldn't even see the embryo anymore, hardly at all. And I actually asked her to print the ultrasound pictures, even though you couldn't really see anything. but I just wanted to have something. So, sorry. So this is the picture, and as you guys, I don't know if you can see, but the sack looks pretty empty, and you could kind of see a little bit of the baby, like when she was moving it around, but for the most part you couldn't. And so it just, you can see that it looks kind of empty in there, but he or she was there. It's just hard to see. I don't know if you can, maybe in that one you can kind of see a tiny bit right there. But so I wanted just to have that, just because I don't know if that's weird or not, but for me I wanted that. So so I'm just keeping that in my belly book just for memories. And I don't know if that's healthy or not, but it's one of the ways that I'm coping, so I am doing that. I tried to not get emotional, sorry. But it is emotional, and you know, I feel like, again, this isn't talked about that much, and so I just wanted to share my experience with you guys. So once that was confirmed, the doctor had asked me, do you feel any cramping? Because it looks like you should be feeling cramping at this time. And I told her, no, I'm not feeling any kind of cramping. I'm not spotting, nothing. So she basically said there were 3 options. I could wait to miscarry naturally. I could take a medication to speed up the process to help my body realize that I had a miscarriage, because my body wasn't realizing it. And, you know, at this point now it had been, what, like 4 weeks, so a month, and my body still hadn't realized it. And then the third option was to have a DNC, which is a surgery. And for me personally, I didn't want to do that because, I don't know, for me, I think just to have closure, I wanted to experience it naturally, you know, and I don't know, just seeing everything kind of leave my body, I guess. I know that's kind of graphic, but I just felt like that would help give me some closure. Whereas with the DNC, you know, you go in, they do the surgery, and then when you're done, you're done. You don't see anything, it's just done. And I didn't know if I could emotionally handle that. But it was hard because, you know, my body hadn't realized that this had happened, and it had been a month. So that was about at 10 weeks, and I didn't actually miscarry until I was 12 weeks one day. So that process was not fun, and the waiting game was not fun, because I knew that I had a baby who had passed away inside of me still, and that was extremely hard to go a month and a half knowing that. It was definitely a very difficult time and a difficult process. I would never wish it on anyone. It was just absolutely just devastating. I was basically curled up on the couch for a couple of days and just crying constantly. It was not fun. So I do want to say thank you. I'm so grateful for all of you guys, but also I'm incredibly grateful for my family and friends, and they have been so gracious. They have given me sweet gifts that I'll share with you in a moment. Chaz has been the best husband ever. I am so thankful for him. I don't deserve him. He is such an amazing husband, you guys, and he has helped me walk through this process. And, you know, we've experienced this loss together. So he's been with me every step of the way, you guys. And even though he didn't fully understand, because he didn't feel, you know, the connection to the body and the baby like I did, he has been there for me every step of the way. I mean, he even, I'm sorry to be graphic, but he even got me Depends underwear to help, you know, with everything. He is just the sweetest. And again, that was not fun. You know, if you guys have questions about this, feel free to ask. I don't know if I'm going to answer them right away, just because I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to really go into a lot of detail about everything yet, but maybe I will do a miscarriage story video, you know, specifically on how everything was in the miscarriage if you want to know more about that. But right now, I'm not ready to kind of talk about all of that and all of the details with it. But I will say that Chaz has been so amazing, and I'm so blessed to have him as my husband. He's the best, you guys. He's the best. So, but I also wanted to share a few gifts that I got from some of my friends, because I have the best friends in the world. They are so amazing. Hold on. I have to show you guys. I took a picture of it on Snapchat. I saved it. So by Mother's Day, when I announced the pregnancy to you guys, my miscarriage had just taken place. And so that's when I realized that I kind of had to go back and forth. Like, do I want to share this with the world, even though I had a miscarriage, or do I not want to share this? And I decided to go ahead and share it because, you know, people need to talk about this kind of thing. And this is a part of our journey. So when we do get pregnant again, you know, if I start talking about, oh, that time when, you know, we had our first baby on the way, and it wouldn't make sense in the timeline. So I figured, why not share? I mean, this is a real life experience that women go through, families go through all the time, and it just needs to be talked about. So I did end up sharing it. That Mother's Day was my first Mother's Day, and, you know, Chaz was just the sweetest. He wrote me this sweet card and surprised me with flowers for Mother's Day. So I had no idea, but his card, you know, talked all about here I go again, about how I was a mother pretty much this whole past year to our foster daughter, and now the baby. He wrote all about how much that all of them love me, and how wonderful of a mom I am. Not necessarily how wonderful of a mom I would have been. So I don't know, that was very touching to me, and I just wanted to share. He's the sweetest. So also I wanted to share with you some gifts from some friends that I got. So there is a first grade teacher that I work with who has experienced miscarriage multiple times herself. And so she was kind of my mentor through all of this because, you know, she's my age, and she now has her second child on the way, and then she also has 2 angel babies. So she surprised me with this sweet gift one day. I don't know if you guys can see, but it is a necklace with some baby feet and an angel wing. So I thought that was so beautiful. I wear it all the time, and it just means the world to me. Anytime I'm feeling down about this, you know, I just kind of hold on to my necklace, and I feel like our baby is here and listening, and that he or she knows how much we love him or her. So anyway, I love this. I also got a couple of really, really beautiful gifts from one of my best friends down in Florida. She sent me this angel, which is so beautiful. It is a willow tree figurine. It's absolutely gorgeous. And this one stands for remembrance. So it says, memories, hold each one safely in your heart. So I thought that was so sweet and special, and I absolutely love this. She also sent me this devotional book, 31 Devotions Helping You Grieve and Cherish Your Child After Pregnancy Loss. So this book has been my saving grace. It is amazing. It is beautiful. So I love those. And then I did have another gift from a neighbor. So on Mother's Day on Facebook, I had shared a video that someone had tagged me in, you know, talking about that mothers are still mothers even if they have experienced a child loss or a pregnancy loss. And so I thought it was so beautiful. So I shared it with my friends and family on Facebook, and my neighbor had seen it. And so she told me she had something for me. She wanted to come stop by my house and give me this gift. And I broke down so much after she left because this is so beautiful, you guys. I'm probably gonna get all teary-eyed again, but this neighbor has also had experience with miscarriage, and she actually is a foster parent herself and has been fostering a baby for, I guess she's probably 2 now. So she's been fostering her since she was 6 weeks old, and now she's, I think, almost 2. I want to say almost 2. Well, they just had a baby of their own, and the reason that I think they went into fostering, and I don't know because I haven't asked her specifically, but I think that, you know, they were having difficulties probably conceiving a child on their own, or, you know, carrying a baby to full term, and so they ended up, you know, fostering a baby, but they ended up having one of their own as well. I think they are still trying to adopt their foster daughter, so that means those 2 babies would be sisters. I love it. But anyway, so she came over and gave me this sweet gift because, you know, she had experienced loss, and now she has a beautiful baby of her own, and so she brought this to me. It is a little baby onesie for a rainbow baby. And it says, "After every storm, there is a rainbow of hope. Here I am." And so, you know, God is good, and I know that there is something good to come after all of this. Somebody had given this to her, and so her little one had actually worn this, and then she passed it on to someone else, which happened to be me. And so she said, you know, after you have your little one, then you can pass it on to someone else in need of a little bit of hope. So I thought that was so beautiful. And then she did give me my first baby toy. So I'll have it for our next little one. So much for staying strong. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey. I hope that I can share some happy and joyful news here soon again. And you know, I think this whole experience has brought me closer to God. And I think that, you know, I'm just learning that everything has a purpose and that I can learn something from every experience. I've learned that people around me care for me that I didn't even know, and not to take other people for granted also, and not to take, just don't take anything for granted, because you don't know how long something is going to last. And I feel so grateful to have had this little one who we have decided to name Dakota. It's a gender neutral name, and you know, it's beautiful. We love it. No matter how long Dakota was here, his or her life was meaningful. It had a purpose. It brought joy and hope and love to our lives that we didn't even know we could experience so deeply. So we are very grateful. You know, this was incredibly hard for both of us, and I know Chaz isn't here right now. He's already down in Florida actually while I'm filming this. So the timeline is off, and I apologize for that. But like I said, I have had a really hard time sitting down and actually filming this. So thank you guys so much for understanding and for all of your love and support throughout this journey. I'm excited to share with you what's going on when we get to Florida. Please stay tuned, because I will be sharing our moving videos so you can kind of see that process as well. And I know that good things are ahead of us. So thank you guys so much for watching. God bless.